My name is Carina Gardner, and I'm what you would call a practical designer. If you're ready to create a life that you love, become an incredible force for good, and generate income while pursuing your dreams, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to Make and Design. Hi, designers. Today I want to talk about prioritization, responsibility, and the absolutely crazy unseen consequences of small decisions. And to illustrate this point, I thought we could talk about this story called The Lightkeeper's Routine. And I'm going to tell it to you, and then let's talk about it, okay? So a lighthouse keeper was entrusted with one critical job: to ensure the beacon stayed lit every single night, guiding ships safely away from the rocky coastline. One evening, a weary traveler knocked on his door, shivering from the cold. Moved by sympathy, the keeper gave the man some oil from his supply to help keep his lamp burning. The next day, a local farmer arrived, explaining that his cart's axle needed oil to move smoothly. Wanting to help, the lighthouse keeper shared a little more oil. On the third night, a fisherman pleaded for some oil to keep his boat's lantern lit. The keeper hesitated but gave in, thinking, "It's just a little." That night, as the lighthouse beacon dimmed and flickered out, a ship approached in the thick fog. Without the guiding light, it crashed into the rocks, leading to a tragic shipwreck. When the lighthouse keeper was confronted, he defended himself, saying, "But I only gave away a little oil." The town leader replied, "Your kindness was admirable, but you forgot your true duty. Lives depended on you keeping the light burning." This is a really interesting story because I think any one of us, and especially the people who listen to me, I feel like you guys are some of the kindest people. You are wanting to give away and help people and give a little bit of oil to everyone. But this is a really good story in demonstrating how a little bit of kindness for something when you've lost your way for the true thing you're supposed to do can really mess up things a lot. In fact, the whole moral of the story is that small compromises can lead to very big consequences. And I think that this shows up a lot of different ways for designers and artists. One of the ways we see it is for designers, cutting corners on details can harm a brand's reputation. But I also think for those of us who own design businesses, one of the things that we see is that your day, it can be filled with things that you're helping a little here and you're helping a little there. And instead of being able to concentrate and work on creating your business and making money for your family, you give away all of your time to other things that you shouldn't, that are good causes, but don't help you do the work that you need to do right now. And I find this in my life. I think this is a message not just for you guys, but for me. I've been thinking about this, about prioritization, my responsibilities, and what are the unseen consequences of all the small decisions I'm making every day that are making it so that I can't move forward, that I can't move ahead and make better decisions for my company or do the actions that will make it so that education, in my education fields, making sure those are good, in my design businesses, that those are good. And what kind of decisions am I making that's causing me to not exceed the way that I need to, what we call in our house, exceed expectations. My kids always laugh because I'm like, "Oh my goodness, you're exceeding expectations." That's like just something we say in our house. So, because everybody knows I love them to exceed expectations. And I think it all comes down to actually one tiny little word that most of us aren't very good at. And I am definitely not good at, and I'm continually working on. So don't feel guilty. I think this is like our work in progress together. The one little word is 2 letters, and it is N-O, which is no. I think it is very hard to say no. It's very hard to say no. And sometimes we just have to say no. At the time of recording this, my son has been sick now for 3 days. This is my youngest. And we just got a call from the doctor because he got tested for COVID and influenza and for strep, and none of it had come up immediately, but they just called this morning saying, hey, he tested positive for influenza A, and they're still waiting on the strep culture because he is still very, very sick. Last night he had a fever of 104.5. I like woke up. You guys know how this is. I woke up in like a total like sweat at 3 a.m. in the morning and went and checked on him. And I had done that a few times already in the night and just really stressed out, making sure that he's okay, giving him medicine, hydrating him, putting wet cold towels on his head. And he's not little by any means. He's 12, but he is still kind of a little guy to me. And you know, I think about our lives and how many of us are trying to fulfill lots and lots of roles right now. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I own 3 businesses, I'm very invested in my spiritual and in my church duties. There's a lot of things going on. And so it's very easy to, without knowing it, share some of the things or share some of that oil that we have that should be put in other ways. And so right now, my house is extremely dirty. I always laugh because like people must think, like especially as a designer, that my house must be perfectly perfect. And it isn't, because I've made some decisions. I've made decisions that I'm going to be a good mom and that I'm going to be a good business owner. Which is ironic because yesterday, you guys, like seriously, yesterday I totally forgot about a meeting because it was like way later in the day. I have never forgotten about a meeting, but with my son sick, that's my excuse. I totally blinked on it. And I will say that we all fall a little in all the different areas of our life, but if there is a way for you to take the things that are most important to you, and for me, family always comes up as most important. So like me missing a meeting because of a family issue, I was like, you know what, this rarely happens, and it happened this one time. It's okay. Is okay. But like, if you find that there are people stealing your time, right? Cause you have struggled saying no, then, then you've got to figure out ways to get it back. I am going to say this has been an interesting year because I talked to my event team and said, hey, we're going to do very, very few summits for other people this year. I had 3 earlier this year. I have committed to maybe 1 or 2 other ones, but that's it. And the reason is, it's not because I don't love doing summits. I love them, but right now we're very focused on the university and getting it in a great place because we have some requirements over the next couple of years we need to fulfill. And so my heart is really like spending time making sure we do things right at our university and in Design Suite. And I was like, we need to really focus on our designers to make sure they're doing the right things and they're getting the right messages for this very unique time. And so even prioritizing within my business what the most important things to do has been really interesting. If I were still only designing right now, you guys, and this is my word of wisdom to you, those of you designing right now, making money from your design work, you should prioritize getting the design work done, period. And doing as much of it as you can, because it's the only way you're going to get better. It's the only way you are going to succeed, okay? Really quick, I want to go through a couple of these, couple of other ideas I kind of jotted some notes down on. This story reminds me that there's a lot of power in our small choices. And I think that you need to be thinking of that, especially when it comes to the actual designs you're creating. So that means like color tweaks, font selection, layout adjustment. Those can impact how a brand can be perceived. But also in your business, those tiny choices in how to spend your time. Are you spending it writing blog posts, making YouTube videos? Are you spending it in design time? Are you spending it trying to get manufacturers? All of these things matter, okay? Skipping just one minor step might seem very harmless, but it can weaken your total outcome in the long term, okay? Another thing is, and I think this is a great exercise for anyone, setting boundaries and knowing what your core mission is supposed to be. This is one I have to come back to over and over again in my design businesses and my education businesses. What is our core mission? What are we really trying to accomplish? And when I really think hard on it, I'm kind of like, okay, my design mission is to create things that are very practical and usable for people and easy for them to use. And when it comes to my education mission, it's really trying to help designers create businesses that work. And it's so simple, but we sometimes get off track. What are our primary responsibilities and what do we need to prioritize? Number 3 is I really want to talk to you a little bit about the dangers of overextending yourself. I am feeling this right now. Once again, I said this message is definitely for me just as much as you guys. With a sick kiddo, I have basically knocked off everything else on my list. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm just dealing with my sick kid and running my businesses. And that's about all I can handle right now. The house can't be cleaned. I've other activities I've canceled. And I think that it makes a lot of sense to make sure that you're not overextending yourself. I think we have sometimes a mentality we can do it all. I'm not 100% sure that that's really a true thing, okay? And then finally, I just want to say don't cut corners when it comes to design. Now, this is different than done is better than perfect, which I teach in my design boot camps. But cutting corners is when you really are doing things that could damage your reputation long term in your design work. Whether it is not adding the kind of mock-ups you need to add or not checking and make sure your files are correctly set up. That's a no-brainer. Your production work should be correct, okay? And that really makes a huge difference. All right, you guys. To me, this has been a message for me, and I hope it's a good message for you right now. Don't overextend yourself. Do the things that are most important. Prioritize. Remember what your mission is. That makes a huge difference. We all need meaning in our lives. We all need purpose. And I hope that you can find it, that you have it in your design business and in your family life, and that you just keep rocking and rolling. And if you want to hang out with me more and you love this message, I would encourage you to come hang out with me in the Design Your Life podcast. If you go to designsweetcourses.com/design events, you will see it there and you can sign up. I think you can also go to carinagardner.com and you'll see it on that page. That podcast is our paid podcast. It's $33 a month, and it has a great Coaches Unfiltered section, and they're much longer episodes, and I'm kind of dishing the tea on all the things. So if you want to check that out, go to carinagardner.com. You can check it out there, or and click on events. I believe we have it there, and I hope I get to see you because it's a pretty fun place to hang out. All right, I'll see you guys soon.
Did you know you have access to more free design content, die cut files, and sewing patterns? Join our exclusive VIP group for free by going to designsweetcourses.com/free.